Hi, everyone. It is Thursday. I don't know about you all. I cannot believe it is already Thursday. Where did the time go? It feels like 2020 literally just started. And today is October 1st. So, one of the things I wanted to do is, in retrospect, I wasn't thinking about this before I went on, but this is the first day of the fourth quarter. And for a year, the fourth quarter is that last push, which puts it so aligned with a sports analogy, since a lot of sports are in quarters or halves, and a lot of times the ones that are in quarters, that fourth quarter is just the quarter where you just make it work. And I wanted to do something realizing that there's been so much going on and we've all been challenged to stretch and to grow and to somehow get bigger, that I wanted to give you some tools to do that. And these tools will help you for a few different ways, but I want to start with a few housekeeping tips. First thing is, if you're watching this and you know someone that needs this message, please share. The second is, if you don't feel like sharing, you can tag someone. The third thing, if you're watching this later, no worries, put hashtag replay in the comments. And also, just as you come on, let me know how you're doing. Let me know what's up in your world. What kind of things are you working on? I would love to know. So welcome. I am your host, Dr. Erica, Harvard-trained double board certified psychiatrist and integrative lifestyle coach. I'm on a mission to help women feel seen, valued, and whole on their own terms. But today, it doesn't matter your gender. I'm just here to help you get through all of this craziness with your sanity intact. All right? That's what I'm here for. I've written books. I have a telepsych practice, but let's go ahead and jump to it. So tonight's topic, let's see what's actually going across the screen, is 3 strategies to harness the power of accountability. And I know all of us, even pre-COVID, pre-uptick in racial injustice, we always, a lot of times, want to do something better or want to do something new, or there's something we've been putting off that we can't seem to put the habits together to get it done. And one of the magic secret sauces for actually growing, learning new things, getting things done, having new behaviors, establishing new skills is to have some level of accountability. Because I don't know how many of you, I can say myself that I can be a procrastinator. Sometimes I'm the best with action and sometimes it's wonky. I was just looking in my project management system earlier, and there are some tasks that have been sitting since July, and it's like, move it back a week, move it back a week, move it back a day, move it back a week, move it back. And one of the things that's great about accountability is it helps move you forward, because sometimes it's hard for us to do it on our own. And especially in a time like this, there are so many conflicting things going on. And I don't know if you're like me, a part of me wants to just lay on my couch, wants to lie on the couch, veg out, Netflix, everything, not do a single thing. That's what I really want to do. But that's not what I'm doing, because I'm working on growing my business, growing my practice, doing some speaking. I'm here doing these live streams. I actually am going to work at a clinic during the day. But if you said, what do I really want to do? It's lie on the couch. So one of the reasons I want to talk about accountability is it's a way to help us move forward. So I call it a hack, but it's not really a hack. It's just a proven strategy to help move yourself forward. So the first thing I would be talking about today is, there are some great tools we have, because I don't know how many of you know that, you'll see these challenges and it'll come up on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, and it's like, okay, we'll do this for the week. And you're like, I'm gonna read every day for a week. And then you do it, because you don't want to be the person that said you were going to do something, put it out there to the world, and you didn't do it. So that brings us to our first thing, which is make it public. This is much easier to do in the era of social media. I don't know if this would have been one of the biggest items of how to utilize accountability pre-social media. And not to date myself, I was around before social media. I remember when all of us didn't even have computers. So make it public by posting it on social media or sharing it with people is there's some power in making it public, because then people can ask you if you did it. So you may see sometimes I'll put a post and say, I am supposed to do this by tomorrow. Or I think I do it a lot with exercise. Like, I need to exercise. Harass me. Ask me if I've exercised. Keep asking me to make sure I did it. So that's one way, is because you are just it's a way to involve the community. But sometimes you might not want to just be like doing all your stuff on social media. So sometimes you want to involve the community, but you want to involve your community, a community that's a lot more close. So there are times where, you might call up your friend or some family and say, hey, I'm working on this. I need your help. I need you to make sure I do it. I need you to check in. An example of that is one of my colleagues is doing some reading, and they called me and was like, hey, can you just check on me, make sure I do this reading? I'm like, sure. I was like, you can check in and make sure I'm doing my miracle morning. I mentioned that I started doing this project with Savers, and I mentioned it also when I was on Dr. Jekyll's live stream. So we just reciprocally check in on each other, like, hey, did you do it? I'm like, yeah. Did you do it? She's like, yeah. But sometimes it's not even formal. It's just you ask your friend or your family to help, and you're like, just check on me or ask me every once in a while, or prompt me, whatever way you decide you want to do it. And for some people, it may be you talk to them and you're like, hey, just send me a text and just harass me and say, did you do it? But it's by involving community. It helps hold you accountable. And one of the things behind that is, number one, you don't want to disappoint your friends and family. The next is, you might not want to be harassed by your friends and family, so you just do it. But it's involving a tribe to help you out. So one is public, and it may be people you don't know, people you do know. The next is, it could be something like involving your family and friends. And there are times where you realize, this is something serious. I really need some help. I really need to make sure I get these things done. And for me, if you said, Dr. Erica, what are some things you're working on? For me, one of the things was getting my health better and getting active and being more responsible for my physical body, and also becoming more responsible for my mindset, how I think, and my emotions. So I hired a coach. So right now, if I'm honest, I have 4 coaches. I have a mindset coach, I have 2 business coaches, and I have a wellness coach. So I have 4 coaches. And sometimes you need to hire a coach. Number one, you're inspired to do what they tell you, because what did they do? You paid them. You paid them to make sure you do stuff. You paid them to harass you. Now, naturally, your coach, your friends, your family can't do the work for you, but they can really encourage you or help you figure out what are the steps you need to do along the way so that you're more successful. So sometimes it's useful to hire an expert. So that's what, to me, what hiring a coach is. Also, in that thing is, when you're doing fitness, that would be your personal trainer. But you're hiring someone to hold you accountable. And naturally, we tend to have more action when we have invested something or we have something to lose. And in the case of hiring a coach, a trainer, or something like that, if you don't do what they ask you to do, you wasted your money. I don't know about you. I don't like to waste money. So the next thing is, we talked about making things public, and this is kind of a version. It's not exactly the same as public, but it's close, is joining a group. So one example I'll give is, I've been doing the Miracle Morning, which was developed by Hal Elrod. He has this Miracle Morning group, and it's a bunch of people that all people do is talk about the Miracle Morning. There are accountability posts where everyone posts what time they're going to get up in the morning and do it. And then everyone just talks about what their experience was. But the accountability comes in the form of this group of people that have like-minded goals. So one of the easiest ways to join groups right now are, you have groups on Facebook. There may be other kinds of groups, such as meetups, which we aren't doing quite as much right now, or interest groups, or just other, like some people do, like when exercise, like Black Girls Run, and there's some cycling groups. But it's having a group of people that have a like-minded goal, that hopefully have some skill or knowledge or understanding of what you're actually working on. So that one now is probably a lot easier now that there is something like Facebook or something like that. But there's so many ways that you join a group. And it also happens sometimes when you're in it's like kind of a mix of when you're in masterminds or some coaching groups that you then end up in a larger group other than just with you and your coach. So your coach is providing accountability, but then you have the support and accountability of your peers or your group. So you might wonder, hey, are there any more bonuses? Well, you know what? We're going to keep it going. The next thing is sometimes you don't want just a group. Sometimes you don't want your friends and family. Sometimes you want something much more formal because you need the structure of it. So when you need structure, you may actually get an accountability partner where one of the things to me that makes an accountability partner than just a friend or a person you know is that a lot of times you have a specific agreement, even if it's not, I'm calling you on this day. But you all 100% have an understanding that you are going to hold someone accountable for something. And a lot of times what makes accountability partners work is a lot of times it's a reciprocal relationship. So it's not someone that's checking in on you or harassing you or asking you, did you do something? But it's an environment where you're both holding each other accountable for something. And if anybody's out there, can you let me stick it in the chat if you have an accountability partner? Let me know if you have one, or let me know if you use any of these strategies. If you have a coach, if you typically use your friends, if you use Facebook groups, let me know what you use. So the great thing about having an accountability partner is it's another thing that adds in structure. And to me, one of the biggest things about using accountability is especially when you start adding in structure to it. But it's hard sometimes to do things on an island because doing new habits or new behaviors or even completing things that if you could do it on your own and you do it really quickly, you probably wouldn't need an accountability partner. You would have already done it. It wouldn't be still sitting on your plate. Is empowering someone to help you so that you are more empowered to do what you need to do. So we're going to do a quick recap. Again, if you know anybody that needs this, just tag them or share it. Also, if you know anybody, we already did that part, didn't we? Yes, we did. The next thing is if you're watching it later, put #replay in the comments. Just let me know. I love to know. We're talking about 3 strategies to harness the power of accountability. I'm just going to do a quick recap. The first one is make it public. That can be on social media. It can be a wide variety of things, but social media is probably the easiest when it's called making it public, but it's just letting people know that this is something you're working on. The next thing is phone a friend. I love this from those talk shows or family. So just letting friends or family know what you're working on so that they can hold you accountable and check on you. The next is pay somebody. Sometimes money talks. So get a coach, trainer, something like that, and you're paying them to hold you accountable. The thing about them is they also are usually able to give you additional skills to help you be successful other than just checking to make sure you did something. The next bonus is join a group, which is really easy with Facebook groups, but there's meetups. There are organizations like Black Girls Run, all kinds of different organizations where you're basically getting part of a group. This could even be professional organizations, but where you're part of a group where people have like-minded goals and can assist in holding each other accountable, but also be of support. The last is to have something a little bit more formal, such as an accountability partner, where you have a reciprocal arrangement to help each other be successful. But I just wanted to give you some tools because I know a lot of us are having to put together new habits and learn new skills or to adjust to things. And that means not doing things the exact same way we were doing them because it's just not effective with either the emotional burden or the amount of tasks we have to do because how things have shifted due to COVID. So I just want to give people some tools to be able to be at your best because the more you're able to shift and move and get things done and to feel successful, the better your mood is going to be. So again, thanks for coming on. I'm Dr. Erica, double board certified psychiatrist and integrative lifestyle coach. I'm on a mission to help women feel seen, valued, and whole on their own terms. Thanks for coming. As I said before, I do have a telepsychiatry practice. It is for adults 18 and over. You can go to AskDrGoodwin.com, AskDrGoodwin.com to get a free consultation. The next thing is I just want to tell you, make sure you call at least one person and tell them that you love them. I'm sure they'll tell it back to you. Give yourself some love, and thanks for coming on. Have a great night.